and we're live.
Damn it.
It's Wednesday. It's a little after 10 a.m.
It's the day before Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir. It's do they call it Thanksgiving Eve, or is it just the day before Thanksgiving? Do people actually say like Thanksgiving Eve, like it's Christmas Eve, New Year Eve?
I don't know.
And like, why do people get so upset when you say New Year's Day instead of New Year Day? Like, it's like, why do you have to be that person?
What is it? New Year Day?
Yeah, it's like New Year. It's like not New Year's, it's the New Year. Like, why do you have to be
But
that
isn't
person?
the actual holiday New Year's Day?
I have no idea what the actual holiday is at this point, man. If I'm being 100% honest with you, I have no idea what the actual holiday is at this point.
Thanksgiving Eve.
Being totally honest there.
Yeah, I mean, it looks, yeah, that's an actual word.
That's the way they call it. It's Thanksgiving Eve. It's the eve of the thanks.
Ahead of Thanksgiving Eve alcohol ban. So, yeah.
And actually, man, you say that, man. We're in the cold open here, man. First off, what we did Sunday be called a Friendsgiving. I don't like that term.
I think that's what it was, though.
We had already planned it before we realized, we realized it was Thursday before Thanksgiving. We planned it, but we weren't thinking, Friendsgiving, everybody's doing that. It's just like, hey, we did the dinner party thing. It was kind of fun. Let's do it again.
I didn't even realize it was November. It's like,
see, that's
I made a Thanksgiving joke at your house, and then I didn't even put two and two together that Thanksgiving was the next week.
Yeah, so it's just
I got COVID brain, bro.
People, I saw a lot of people, we did it. I can't say there were a lot of us there. We kept it under the 10 threshold. There weren't 10 of us there. There was the 5 in my house. Then UNB camps at 7. I saw people online. I saw people sharing, posting, like they had big groups, and I hope everyone's good. It's just there's some people, and it's like you said, the NYPD, a lot of police departments, a lot of police, places across the state, across the country are saying they're not gonna enforce these, arbitrary, bans.
Who's saying that?
A lot of these police chiefs, police unions, they're not gonna enforce these Thanksgiving bans, like not have 10 or more
like
people
roll up
anywhere.
in people's houses just because they're with family,
or because you get a call, unless it's like something egregious, like over the top, then maybe. But they said for the most part, most of them are saying they're not gonna. They're just also saying, please observe what the CDC guidelines, what your local health departments or health, whatever you call them, are telling you, the people in charge of it out there by you, and these municipalities and these, areas.
And even if you have one of those, I've seen a lot of these lately, like those buildings that have the rooftop dining area. Like, do this shit outside. If you're gonna have a lot of people,
I mean, if it's not, I don't think it's really that warm enough to do that anymore at this point. Like, you might get a warm day here or there, but we're essentially in the mid to late fall. We're headed towards
the way
winter.
This weather is.
We're getting. I think we're pretty much done with those outlier 67, 68 degree days. We may, obviously, you never know with Mother Nature, especially recently. We could go from polar vortex to being 70 degrees the next week. As we've seen happen before recently out here.
Continuously.
So we never know, honestly. But I would say, with it being the fall, with us being out here, there won't be too many more of those. I think you may get a 55, 56 degree day. But if it's windy, if it's cloudy, if it's rainy, does it feel like that? I think the number one thing to do is like they're saying, is just if there's no need to have egregiously large groups together, and just think about everyone with it. But people aren't doing that much.
I saw this article that I'm gonna try to find it throughout the show, but there was like thousands of like Orthodox Jews that secretly gathered.
I saw that. It was
for a wedding.
New York Post broke it. It was New York Post was exclusive of somewhere in South Willoughby.
Yeah.
And it was like
and they're saying no one's getting charged.
Nah,
for
they
that.
said they already, because the article broke. They got to fine. I don't know if charges. They said. I mean, here's the thing. $15,000.
That's how much it was.
It's $1 for each person who was there. Apparently, maybe 2. They said it was like 7,000. So maybe $250 a pop, and you're good money.
Shit.
Here's the thing, though.
And they showed the picture. I was like, God damn. That's
Now, if this leads to like a cluster, and much larger than a micro cluster because of this, what happens as a result of that if people do die, where you so egregiously chose to violate protocols, flout them so openly, go through the level of secrecy, knowing damn well what you were doing? It's not like you can say, all right, we didn't know. Maybe the guest list got bigger than we expected. You knew the guest list you expected.
Yeah,
and you knew what to expect, so you secretly planned it, went about things the way you did so that you would be able so that you would be able to figure, get it done in secrecy.
I want to know how it broke. Did somebody sneak in there? Did they see all the people going into the entrance? Because they had to do that shit
Not the
quietly.
the crazy thing is they say there's a fire department right next door to the building, and the fire department is one of the people some of the people who are supposed to be investigating some of these COVID claims, especially if there's people packed. Not even that. That's actually a fire hazard. That's obviously against fire safety code. 7,000 people in a
Yeah,
building of
there's
that
no
size.
building that has that capacity. In
There's no,
Williamsburg.
that skyscraper, that's big, that's huge building. That's like, capacity. So there needs to be questions asked. The state should investigate it. Doubt they will do more than they did with the 15,000. But I did see that article. Who was it
That
who
shit
shared
was
it to us? It
crazy.
was I can't even remember who shared it, but I remember seeing. I believe I saw it in the group chat.
Think
I'll look it
about
up.
think about the Jehovah's Witness convention. You would see thousands of people, but you would see them going inside. They would be flooding the place, whether it was in Greenpoint and Flatbush or in fucking Nassau Coliseum.
You're
How the
100% right.
fuck do you sneak
7,000 people.
7,000
That's just
people?
blatantly or seeing it and just saying, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Sitting on gun. Or people saw. There were people that had to been cops who rolled on patrols like, wow, this is a lot of people here. This looks weird. Not going to give a fuck. And obviously
It's
with a fire
crazy,
department
bro.
right there, unless they were out on calls like crazy, and they're saying like they were singing, dancing at the top of their lungs, like, and we see the videos
Of how
on
their weddings
of
go
how the
down,
weddings
bro.
go, the dancing, the
They
shuffling, and
stomping and
I don't know what these dances are called, but it looks kind of jovial. It looked like it make a certain amount of noise.
is this a live
Is
caller?
this a live call? This would be a fun call to answer, but we don't have a lav here, so
See who it is.
let's see who this is. Bartow Call Center. I don't think
Is
that's
it for
a
us?
nah.
It's I don't know. Let's see.
I wanted to pick it up, but
You should. Here, look. Here's a log now. In the future.
That scared me for a second.
they hung up.
They hung up.
Yeah.
I thought that was them calling us to tell us to stop talking about the fucking 7,000.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
We will
Yeah,
shut you
man.
down.
You thought it was me?
It's it was
Yeah, I
crazy.
did think it was you for a second. That's why I
It-
looked over.
It was crazy seeing that article, but even seeing seeing how the they obviously said don't travel, stay home if you could for Thanksgiving, and seeing people traveling through airports, seeing the photos of airports, seeing how they said there hasn't been this much air travel all year. We are at the end of November of 2020, and they're saying what was it Wednesday? One of the days this week was the most air. I think it was Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. I think it would be Tuesday, Wednesday.
You know what it is?
Not-
I,
not today-
I
today,
think when
but they-
shit really
I guess it
hit
was
the
Tuesday or
fan,
Monday.
I think when the prices dropped, everybody started buying their tickets for this week.
I think
Getting their
I
Thanksgiving
don't think
trips
prices
early.
ever really went up that much. Because it's
No, they
still,
went down.
I know they've been down, but I don't think they've actually gone back to regular. Where all right, you could decide week of, and especially if they're saying don't travel, there are a lot of people who are going to listen, and then that means take it to make money. So they're going to try to get deals. Who knows how that went? There may have been people already decided long ago, like I'm going home, had other tickets or other vouchers,
Nice.
and decided to just still use them. We don't know how that went, but the level of air travel I've seen, people in airports going home, traveling home, people that are like out partying in places.
Are they really like monitoring whether or not people quarantine after they come back from?
Here's
the
the thing I
streets?
can tell you. People that I know have traveled from COVID-heavy states have said where they've left from. But this was before Cuomo's knew everything, where people have said now that they do see a stepped-up increase in it. Where initially, early in the summer, where it wasn't as bad and there weren't these surges in numbers out here in the city and in the state, what people were saying is that while they were kind of enforcing it, it wasn't widely enforced. And they're saying now, though, that there's like a much more visible presence of them checking your COVID status. It says somewhere.
So
they
what
do-
is it? Because I heard that, like when G came back, I think they gave him a small little piece of paper that has like a number on it, and that's when you register when you come back, so that they could follow up with you on your visit, whether or not you quarantine, all that shit. If you got symptoms, if they're doing it paperback, then I don't see how that shit's gonna
Nah,
fucking work.
that was previous to the surge and uptick and him changing the way
They had to
the
digitize that
restricted
process.
list. I don't know what they did. I don't know how they changed it. I haven't traveled. I haven't flown since, it's crazy. I haven't flown since, honest to God, a little bit before it started when I went to
Did you
Universal.
go to Orlando?
Yeah, I went to Harry Potter. We went to Harry Potter World. Was it felt a month before everything happened? I got invited.
Is that where you flew Spirit?
Hell no. We flew JetBlue. I flew Spirit.
When the
I
hell were
went
we
to
talking
Miami.
about that? Was that last week's
Last
show?
week we were talking on the road. I flew Spirit when I went to Miami a few years ago. Yeah, but
I haven't flown since I went to fucking
it's crazy.
Ohio.
The way everything went with that, the way everything's going with that, and people just, you want to keep the. I don't know what you say, because you can't tell people not to do something. People are gonna do it unless it's like strictly forbidden, and you forcibly stop people from doing it. People are gonna do what they want.
Yeah,
And
but even
right now-
even when you try to forcibly stop people, they'll find a way. I think that engages people in a way that it makes them feel like they're being tested. So now they're just gonna go out of their way to do something. They might not even want to do it that much, but because you said don't do this
Don't
shit,
do it. Like, I mean, people are traveling.
people who don't even
I
travel
mean,
like
I
that.
pray everyone that's
Now they're
traveling, travels, does what they have to do, enjoys time with your families, comes home, no one gets sick, nothing's transferred. We don't see any big upticks. But I mean, like we said it when the protest started. People, these large numbers out here. This will be a test if everything happened. We didn't see large upticks in numbers, but people were, while they were bunched up together, at least most of them were wearing masks. They were observing the proper social distancing to an extent. Can't say that, but they, most of them
Who?
had masks.
Because
gloves.
we've
Not
seen-
the protesters. No, people out. But while they were out, at least they had on masks for the most part. Most of them. Some of them had on gloves.
Because remember our homegirl, primarily your homegirl, when she started posting pictures out on the street, everybody was out there in the street. Nobody had on masks. Nobody had on shit.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Talking about
Who?
the one that I went for the music.
Oh. See, that's different though. She wasn't protesting. She was like at a party.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
That was when
that
they,
was
when,
that
what
was in
it
the
when they
street.
opened up the see, wait, here's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people when people were out like in the middle of the protest when everything was happening and people were actually, wearing masks, they had gloves on when they were marching, and everybody's like, all right, now we're gonna see these big upticks in numbers, but there wasn't back then. You saw it more from when there were these other, I want to say, counter or prior to that, those marches, those let us open up, and you have no mask on, and then
Yeah, but don't they say it takes like 2 weeks for
2 weeks,
for
but-
symptoms to even appear?
I mean, throughout that entire protest process, none of these places saw huge upticks in numbers before, during, or after. So I mean, the sun was either sun was off there, or the people wearing masks did what they were supposed to do. And a lot of those people, I heard, I told you that was when I went to do you. You couldn't make it that day when you didn't want to listen when I told you what time you were gonna have to leave to go to the beach when I went to go do the Maria Hernandez cleanup.
Oh yeah.
And I told you
Drove
there were
all the
people
way
that were
out there
telling me they
for
had been
absolutely.
protesting.
I mean, I know we didn't drive out there for nothing because we ended up going to Long Island, but
I told you. You said
That
you want to go to the
line-
beach on. You said you want to go to the beach on a Saturday. I told you want to go to Jones Beach on a Saturday. I was like, bro, you're gonna have to not
no.
wake up,
First of all,
leave.
I think we were supposed to go to Reese.
Reese, Robert Moses.
But
I don't know any other man.
when we was driving by or we was driving close by, we saw how packed it was. It was like, yo, just continue to Jones. But I'm thinking everything's good, bro, because you just see a clear path, and then that traffic here, I'm thinking, oh shit, the fucking line is jammed up. Nah, that was the line to go into the fucking parking lot where the police was already turning everybody around because the shit was packed. They said drive another 2 miles to the other parking lot. Drove. Another fucking line, bro. I was just like, nah.
All right, but this is what did I tell you?
I'm outta
First
here.
off, they had to shut. They couldn't allow. And I'll give them credit on that. They allowed the beaches, stuff like that, to stay open, and they kept people from huddling up on the beaches, not big groups. They had them spaced out.
Yeah.
And I also told you,
They was
everybody
capping
is
it.
going to try to go to the beach. It's gonna be hot as hell. And I told you, I was like, bro, if you want to go, because we were hanging out the night before.
Yeah.
And I told you, if you're going, bro, you're gonna have to leave here at not wake up at 6 a.m. I mean, be on the road, not walking out the door. I mean, well on the road, on your
But-
way at 6 a.m.
But I didn't make those plans. I was just a passenger in a group, and it wasn't my fault.
See, you know how I feel about my time, man. I'm very
Shit, I
You
feel
know,
like
I'm very on point with my
Triple
time. I
H.
get very offended when I feel my time's wasted or people waste my time or you don't observe or respect my time. Um, I can 100% if I win your shoe. You handled that much better than I would have that day. That's all I can say. Like, especially if I'm like, all right, listen, guys, it's 90 degrees. This is how this is gonna go. And if other people are tagging along, listen, I don't care if they don't make it. If we want to go to the beaches, what time we're leaving to know this is gonna happen. If they make it, they make it.
What I've become accustomed to is whenever my wife's friends make plans and the plans fall through or they fuck up or whatever, I just smile and I look at her and just remind her that you don't have good friends.
Nah, I wouldn't do it at that moment. I would delay it for later. I would.
She
snap
knows by the
right
look in
away.
my face. I just look at her and I'm just like, these are your friends. These ain't my friends.
Yeah, so like, what was the joke? Friend of yours or friend of mine?
Like my friends show up on time.
Like, yeah, that is one thing I'm very I mean, it just gets me like my time. Like, and I told you, I was a person who was
That's why I didn't
like,
do good in real estate, bro.
I was a person who was chronically late. Like when I was like younger. Like I'll say like working. I won't say every job, but let's say that there were certain jobs where just getting there on time wasn't like part of the priority. Like it was get there, but on time we'll see how it goes.
Were those jobs that you had family working there too?
Jobs I had friends hook me up with that. Jobs I didn't take that serious. That was just
Yeah.
I have extra money in my pockets, part time. What I'd be doing at the time was either drinking, smoking. But you know what's crazy? I wasn't even smoking at that time yet, so it was really drinking, playing games, and partying were the
Oh,
things I was
man.
doing at that time. This is why I only would have been doing one of those. So let's make money to do
How many
more of that.
jobs have you had?
Honest to God, not as many as you. Nowhere, because you just work some shit. You say wild shit. I can't even. I could honestly not even say 20. If I said 20, I'd be pushing it. I'm being honest.
Yeah, I've probably worked over 60 different jobs.
Nah, man. Like, nah.
And one of the worst jobs I could say was retail security.
I'll never. That's one place I'll never slip.
That
man.
was
retail security.
First of all,
Like, yo, yes,
the
that.
rules that they have. You got to keep your hands folded in the front. You can't keep them in the back. You can't put them in the side. You can't put them in your pockets. You got to keep your hands like this. You got to stand up all the time. You can't lean on anything. You can't sit down. If you're a minute late from your break, go home. It's like, this shit is crazy, bro.
There's there's jobs like that, and here's the thing.
And then they expected me to actually like stop people from stealing shit. You put me in Louis Vuitton, people steal shit from there every day. And
like those
there
are
was
jobs.
like some gung ho security guards that they had in
those
there.
are
Like some fucking.
Let me
mall
be honest
cops.
with you. How much we making an hour there?
I was probably making fucking maybe $13 an hour.
Not with it, man. I've never made doing security less than like 15, and I made my entire security lifetime made less than
Like
like I'll say
$13
honestly
an hour,
14. I'll say 14 is the least I've ever made an hour doing security, and never done that.
And it's just they'll cycle me. That's the whole thing. Now, I was never in the same store for 2 days in a row. So like I'll be at Louis, then they'll send me to Soho to the Balenciaga, and there was like tiles on the floor that was in a pattern, bro. And I would for 8 hours just walk in circles around that pattern.
I
floor.
couldn't do that. The worst. I'll tell you honest. Like that's mind numbing. When I did the warehouse job, I won't say that was mind numbing, but it was such a big warehouse and doing patrols, and we all had set things. We had staggered schedules, and there were spots for us. It wasn't sitting down, being on your phone wasn't encouraged, but it wasn't explicitly discouraged. Like it wasn't against the rules. It was like do your job, but if you want to take a quick second on your feet all day, sit down for 10 minutes at a desk we have set up at one of the stations, check your phone, sit down, read a book for a little while. You know, bust your rounds out. There were other spots where you could sit down all day. We rotate shifts if some guy was sick. It was like different things, so that wasn't as bad. But like the worst security job I ever had was I'm talking, I get in at 2 and I don't get off till fucking 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m. And then I got to turn around and be back at 2 again the next day. And people think that, oh, I'm paying you $17, $18 an hour. Take it. You ain't getting no break. Like, nah, man, that's not how humanity
The hell
works,
outta
bro.
here.
Like people need break. People need to get off their feet. And there's a lot of people that think that don't matter, and it's just like that was the worst for me. That was probably where I decided, yo, like these are the type of security jobs. I don't care what I have to, how bad things get. I'm not doing this again.
I did security at the Hudson Hotel with my brother. but they had me as event security. But I had to stand in this middle queuing, bro, and I had to stand there for 8 hours and watch everybody dog through this delicious ass barbecue, bro. They had everything there. You can't talk to the guests, you can't do nothing, bro. You got to stay in your earpiece. You don't get involved until the other security guards, your superiors tell you that it's time.
I mean, see,
It's
even
like it was like, what the
that
hell is
type of
this,
whole
bro?
like working those jobs, I don't like that. Like it's just like where I'm at now is perfect environment for me, perfect job for me. You know, and here's the thing: some of those like these guys that those in hotels and they come over there, and they say some of the dumb stuff some of the guys would do, and it's just like there's people who just don't take it for what it is. You're a security guard, not a cop, buddy. Calm the fuck down.
They want to be cops.
They wanna
in
be
their
cops.
mind when they're putting on their uniform to go in. They're
And
like, yo, we're
there's
gonna
so
bust
many,
some.
there's so many retired cops. Like I work. Most of the people I work with were retired at that. By the time I worked with them, where I was at before
Mhm.
everything happened. And they were so chill, laid back with things going on. Tell them something happening. Like their first reaction is, let's solve this amicably, so we don't have to go further. Let's calm down. Let's see
Because
how
they're
this goes.
tired.
They've done it
They've
all,
done
man.
that
Like
shit
these
already.
people, like it was like one of the guys, the guy who ran at one of the theaters, my favorite show. He was like one of my favorite guys to work with because I never seen him. I've only actually seen him agitated once, and when I saw him, like, yo, what happened? And they told me, I was like, that guy must have went far to get under his collar, like to get him hot and had him as hot as he was. Like, man, it's like I've never even seen that dude.
You ever
Like,
got fired?
Yep, got fired from the college bars. You want to know why? Two reasons they told me. And one of them I accepted, but it's like, if you look at your cameras, you should know I was doing time every day. I hadn't had a job where I had to clock in like physically with a time card since like Toys R Us. And when I got to that job, I would go drop my stuff, get there, get to my post on time. I was like, you have to be there 6. If your shift starts at 6 o'clock, you have to be on the floor at 6, not walking in at 6, not clocking in at 6, like on the floor, clocked in already. I'd be done, but I forget to clock in. Oh shit, go clock in late. And I tell like the supervisor, be like, I forgot to clock in. Just leave him. I'll be like, I eat that, like it's my fault, but
Yeah.
just leave him a note saying, this dude. First he tells me I was late for the last 2 months every day. And it was really like one because it was like where you had to clock in was way out of the way. There's other bars was right next to where we went, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't forget. Oh, this one bar was way out of the way, so I'd always forget the other side, and then I'd have to go over there. And like, like if it was like, it's like, listen, you told me if I was late one
Shit.
time, right, I'd get in trouble. And it was like there was one time where dude thought I was late. He asked me to clock in early, forgot. I clocked in at like what? It was like a weird time. I was like maybe 24 minutes early. He
Mhm.
thought I was 6 minutes late. He like I went to pick up my check. He's like, hey, listen. And I was like, I wasn't late. I was supposed to be at 6:30 that day. You asked me to clock in early because it's Cinco de Mayo. I told him that day. I was like, look at the schedule. I was like, you want me to pull up?
So he's the one that told you to do it, and he didn't even remember.
He
that.
didn't remember, so he thought I was 6 minutes late instead of 24 minutes
What an
early.
asshole.
And like that one tore up right in front of me. He's like, my bad, dude tore. Then we didn't have that issue again. But then the second reason he's like, also it is like they didn't like the way that you stand when you were. Part was they tried to tell me when I went to pick up my check, I didn't bring my security shirts back. I was like, he ain't saying nothing about that. I was like, if you don't give me my goddamn money, that's what I said. You don't give me my goddamn money. And it dude was like the barman was like, well, if you see your brother anywhere, you give him to him. I told my brother, if that next time I'm really drunk and take like one of those really drunk shits, I'm gonna use it to wipe and put it in a bag and send it back with them. I was like,
There was this, one of the first jobs that I ever got was I was a porter at the UFT on Wall Street, the United Federation of Teachers. And my job was to like buff the floors and move, a bunch of pallets around and shit. So they hired 2 part-timers. It was me and this other dude. As soon as I get this job, my credit was still good. So I go on Musician's Friend, open up a credit card, buy an expensive ass guitar. I'm like, I'm gonna pay this shit off. Literally the next day after I bought that, they bring us both in the room. They said, you're both fired.
why?
It's like, what happened? They said, we're paying too much. We rather get 1 full-timer than 2 part-timers because the taxes are doubled. I was like, wow, bro.
That's crazy. I mean, I can understand it. I'm not gonna lie. Also, being a porter for the short time I was for like a week.
Where you was a porter at?
At the bowling alley in Times Square.
I remember that.
It was only for a week, man. And you know
Was
what?
that Bowmore?
Yeah, Baltimore. And it was
Shit.
it was my homie. My homie hooked me up with the job. I had a job time, but I was like, yo, I'm only working weekends. I could work during the week, and if they don't play dumb, I could work a weekend day. I could probably work Sundays. and still keep, my Friday, Saturday security. They knew what was up with my schedule. Show up, train, do everything I have to do the first week. They tell me at first, the schedule, you call in for your schedule on Sunday, but you're off on Sunday. You should be back on Monday. I call in Sunday to see, they told me, it's not up. I should get an email, but I didn't get it yet. They're like, you're supposed to be here today. I'm like, listen, no, I'm not. And I was like, damn, I'm not. They told me I'm not. I'm like, I was just there all week. I had to work yesterday at my other job. I was like, I'm not coming in today. And then when they gave me the schedule for the week, they had me. I was going to work that shift. And then they also had me working that Sunday, which I told them is the only day. I actually, you know how they ask you before you start a job, are there any days you need off?
I always make sure.
Baby shower.
Yeah, I always make sure I let them know.
Yeah, this is my sister's baby shower. I'm like, it's my sister's first child. Me and my siblings, we're close. We're not like super duper Brady Bunch type, but we're close. I was like, it's my sister's first child. I was like, I'm not missing my sister's baby shower. They said, oh, cool. They had me on schedule. I told them when I was like, I told you I was up. Listen, you had me Saturday and Sunday. I was like, Saturday, I could probably do Saturday. I'll call off from over there. They could replace me easily. That's not a problem. I was like, Sunday, I can't do. I was like, my sister's baby shower, I'm not coming in at all. I was like, you guys are going to have to find somebody to work that, or, y'all just going to be one short. That's why I said, like, I'm not like, I'll call out, or maybe I could come in, or do it. Like, nah, I'm not. There's no, maybe I'll work it for you. It's like I told you. You asked me up front, I told you up front, I was fucking honest. And the dude's like, the supervisor's like, I got to go talk to the supervisor, the GM, see what he wants to do. He's like, if you can't work, just go home now. I was like, cool, deuces, I'm out. Turned around, walked right out.
Did they consider that a firing or quitting?
I don't know. I was only there 2 weeks. I ain't asked. Don't give a shit. Nah, that's one of those situations, and that's one of those things too. It wasn't, it's because my homie hooked me up, and that's what I didn't want to do. As always, my parents told me, if someone looks out for you, sets you up with a job interview, if you don't want the job, you show up, you go up respectful, and if you turn down the job, you show up.
Yeah.
And homie got me the job interview, looked out for me. And it's like some of the things they were saying, like what they thought to be compliments, I felt to be insults. Like, yo, man, just clean up good, you mop. How hard is it to mop a floor?
You're a hell of a mopper.
How hard is it to fill a bucket with chemicals and do a job? How hard is that really? You think you're complimenting me? You're fucking insulting me. I'm a 30-year-old adult.
You're a hell of a mopper.
You are insulting me. I know you think you're complimenting my work ethic and everything. I'm keeping my head down. In my mind, this is an insult. And this is an insult on anyone who does this. But in my mind, with the jobs I've done, you telling me that is like, bro, what am I doing with my life? That was really what I was like, yo, what am I doing with my life? And I worked, and then I took a bit of a loss fighting actually for a little while. But within that, I got the call to start my job. The new job, maybe 2.5, 3 months after that.
So,
and it's like, after they ran off, it did what my brother said he did, and other people. Probably wasn't the greatest decision, but I mean, like, my brother did it. My friends that I knew smoked did it. That had to do other shit, and it worked for them. So I mean, I wasn't.
You rolled the dice.
It didn't work. It wasn't the brightest of decisions, but I mean, after that, when I got the warehouse job, that worked perfectly with my schedule, other things going on. We were able, I think around that time when we started, after that, we started working towards bringing this back the first time.
You know why I had so many jobs, though? Because I would go to, like, my sister Angie would always put me in these temp agencies. So I would go to different offices, but I wouldn't necessarily get fired. I would just have to change locations because I was just there for temporary. And there was this one place that, I did probably like 15 different mail rooms. But this shit was in like the Trump basement. But then the actual company was a few floors up, and it was 2 floors big. Had a staircase connecting both of the floors. It was like one of those stock trading rooms where they had the numbers on the screens and all that shit. And everything that I've ever seen in the movies when it comes to traders, tossing the ball around in the middle of the office, sports playing, all the people with their feet up, not giving a fuck. That's real, bro. All of that shit is real. And that was my moment where I'm like, what the hell am I doing pushing a goddamn mail cart when these guys are making 10 grand in 5 minutes?
Sometimes that happens like that, man. But that was just
shit.
Like, I've had jobs that I hated waking up every day when I had to work security on 42nd Street. I hated every morning waking up, or even late afternoon waking up and having to get my clothes together, iron everything out, put it in my bag, go there, do that, come home, do it again. I I felt like I work nights mostly. Like I'm work evenings and nights. I don't get to see the sun very. If aren't taking off. If it's scheduled, if it's not gonna mess up my schedule,
Mm-hmm.
I go back. It wasn't a hard
Yeah,
job.
but do you think your body would adjust to it?
My body is gonna take a little bit of time. I won't even say that much of a time adjustment because I still wake up early.
When do the theaters open up? When's the first show? Is it like
It's not. They haven't said. This is how they have it set up. Most shows usually start the first show that week is a night show, unless it's like some other shows maybe be a matinee a little earlier where you have to be.
out the stores would piss me off all the time. It was
I don't believe that. I hate
despise
that
that.
mentality. I hate people that I'm gonna take all these hours and like I dig your work mentality when working.
the value of their hour. Like learn more. Learn that shit on the side. So when you go into work, you could be more valuable. It's like, bro, like you just wasted 18 hours when somebody
18 hours, bro.
somebody
but
just made
nah, man. That's them not valuing your time and truly not valuing you and knowing, if I just tell this person, I need you to do this for me, they gonna blindly do it. Like, every time he made it worth my while. He made it worth my while. It wasn't like he paid me. He didn't pay me more an hour, but like let's say there was some times where I should take shift shit in. He would leave me on the clock and let me move into overtime on that.
Yeah.
And like there were a lot of instances like people would be complaining about how hard. Tell me I can't. I have to put it in 2 to 3 weeks and in the text message, send me a screenshot. Like he revised my schedule for me to come in and do.
This
one
was still
early
on Broadway?
Show. Yeah, come do one early show. So he was like, listen, I had a spot I need to fill. You want to do it? And it'll move you like, it'll be like 9 shows, but you have the extra day off already for the week. It's like, in my mind, I wanted to kind of say no, like I wouldn't mind going home early one day out of the week, but it's like, all I'm going to do when I get home early is smoke and play games. So I can still do that when I leave there early.
Facts.
After that. So it's like, yeah, I'll take it. And it was actually I had a pretty decent time with that staff at that crew there too. So
You know what? Talking about increasing the value of your hour instead of more time and shit like that. Did you see a ring and he did he was on that and everybody's like, well, why the fuck is he here?
But he has to also
Look at the notoriety that shit. But when people ask him, why a character, you want ring action, you're never gonna be a main eventer, man. Like you gotta fucking put in the work. Put in the work. Increase the value of your time.
That's a pretty good analogy there, Jordan, to take her. I haven't watched anything wrestling related. I've seen it keep popping up. Everybody saw I saw Stephanie McMahon shit a tribute.
Just came out hot. Like everybody had the purple and
It's
black.
Taker. I saw it's fun. I saw a picture in it, and it
Said that's the span of his
Undertaker's
career.
spanned this long. You could make out who it is. Like, man, that's these games, man, and it's incredible. And actually, apparently any more Montreal school job nonsense. And he thought he was talking about. He's like he didn't like Shawn Michaels at the time.
Yeah,
He's like, I
he
thought
thought
was
Michaels
an
was a
arrogant arrogant fuck. He said all these things like over time, and Shawn's conquered his demons. Shawn Michaels would like to have the demon. I told Vince I was ready.
Who the best was.
I didn't persona were arrogant.
And maybe a little.
You look at him back then. He wasn't, but he knew what to do. He knew how to. Curtain call. Triple H got knocked down a bit, but still climbed back up the ranks to who I am the game. Now to who he is now, to where to the moments we think about him, to where I think about the fact every time people like talk about all the moments and everything. I tell people honestly, I was in the Garden the night Triple H came back, and that's it.
Because I believe he was Hunter Hearst Helmsley before DX.
Yeah,
So he converted to Triple H while he was in
when
DX.
he became DX.
And that's why they say they used each other. They created something. Then Michaels left. I think he got injured, right? His back got injured.
Back was bad. They said
That was the
his
casket
back
match with
was the
Taker?
casket match. Even before the casket match, they said his back was bad. But there's like on that when when Undertaker throws him into the turnbuckle, he does that the exaggerated hit then flip.
Yeah.
That he really messed
tweaked
it up
it.
bad, and that he didn't want to stop performing.
And then Triple H goes and he starts recruiting some young jabronis. Because you knew Sean Waltman was already an X-Pac. You knew he was already
you already knew he was
part of
1,
the
2,
clique.
3 kid.
Yeah, but he was already a backstage clique member.
Yeah, he was a backstage click guy, but he was already a guy, But then Triple H did, and even with the angles with the Monday Night Wars, pushing it like when they went to when they went Raleigh or wherever it was, and they went to Hampton, wherever it was, where they were like right next to each other when they did the DX Army.
Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yeah, it was Raleigh, right?
Yeah.
It's either Raleigh or it was like I think it was Hampton
That's
Roads.
when they showed up in the tank.
Yeah, no, I think it was Hampton Roads and I think Newport News. It's somewhere in Virginia that's really close. I have to look that up. But it's somewhere that's really close, and there's 2 arenas like that, and it was genius what Triple H did. But honestly, like you said, they used each other. Everyone saw it, and
But WCW, their counter to that was when they started dropping the live results on the tapings.
but obviously that backfired on you. That obviously backfired on you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, we gonna finally see Mick Foley win. How many people wanted to see Mankind win? Like, we didn't realize how much we were because
But I believe that was the night that Austin came back.
I don't know.
Austin came back that night. I just finished watching a shoot interview with that. So he was talking about the fact that it was the night that he was scheduled to come back, and who was it, Tony Schiavone? Or was that Eric Bischoff on the mic? Bischoff on the mic, dropping all these jewels. So, like you said, it backfired. Everybody tuned to WWE. See what the hell happened.
As he said it, everyone turned. Like, you can see, they said you can see it on the ratings, the turn. And I mean, you didn't realize how big of a fan you were till that moment of Mick Foley, Mankind, Cactus Jack, Dude Love. And it's because he spent so much time when he first got to WWE as the weirdo Mankind in the mask, the rocking in the
Ripping his hair out. He was
like doing the weird vignette, like
Yeah.
the weird little like vignette.
This was before kayfabe was over.
Yeah,
so,
man.
So we
when we were led to believe Kane's face was burnt, like he can. No one can stop Kane.
Now he's
Like,
the goddamn governor.
now he's with Glenn Jacobs, governor. Well, no, mayor somewhere,
Tennessee, Knoxville,
I believe. And
that's crazy.
This is what it's become. But before that, we were led to believe. I really believed Undertaker was a Lord of Darkness. But I also did for my
But he never broke character. That's why he's like a legend today, because he came from a time where you did not break character, bro. And even when you go to see him like perform at these shows, and you'll be those super fans that wait by the parking lot to see if you see them leaving, he'll still be dressed up as Taker when he leaves. He probably don't get out of his costume till he's in a hotel room or some shit. Because he did not want anybody to see Mark Calloway, bro.
But that's the way, I mean, you keep it up as Taker. That's the way you're considered one of the greatest WrestleMania. The greatest WrestleMania performer ever. Not one of the greatest WrestleMania performer ever.
And then you have people like Bret Hart's character. It was just the hitman. Like it was nothing. There was no persona behind it. It was just he's the excellence of execution. He wears the pink and the black. That's cool. But he could always be himself when he's signing autographs, when he's in the ring. That's the same person.
It's like Stone Cold. It's like The Rock. While those are what they are, their personas aren't much different than.
Yeah, Austin really drinks beer.
Like they're really that
redneck.
person. He just became like that, But that's how you make it work for you, man. That's how it worked. That's what made while that worked for the WWE with the Attitude Era, was also not breaking kayfabe, but it was that these guys became themselves. They were themselves instead of caricatures of characters.
Like Rowdy Piper. Come on, he's a Scottish, right? He's a Scottish wrestler, and that's his character. How much do you have to do to work on keeping that shit up? Just wake up, and you Rowdy Piper. For this man to never break character in 30 years of his career, bro. There's very few times, especially when have you ever seen him in the ring doing a shoot interview like Papa Pump, calling people out backstage? And
That wasn't him.
Never seen that.
I mean, even when he would leave and he'd come back, man, like that time when the lightning hit the casket, the time when I forgot who it was, when everything went dark, and then he turned up in the ring behind them. Like
when the casket caught the flame from the lightning bolt, I think that was Randy Orton. I think Randy Orton was supposedly, because he was like the legend killer.
Nah, the one I'm talking about earlier, it was after the casket match with Kane, the first time.
Oh, you're talking years ago.
Talking Attitude Era. I know the Orton one you're talking about. I'm talking Attitude Era after the casket match with Michaels when Kane set the casket on fire. And he was gone for that whole time, and then he came back right before WrestleMania.
Was that the WrestleMania that he came out with like the Dracula shit?
It was WrestleMania 14 when he came back, when they had the Inferno match That's why they
Was
had the
that the one that
Inferno
they had
Lounge.
all the people holding the torches
That's the
for
first
his
one
entrance?
when he came out for the entrance and
Yeah.
had all the people the whole way with the torches.
Yeah. See, that's why I love wrestling because you remember the movie Beyond the Mat?
Yeah.
They asked Vince McMahon in the beginning of the movie, it was like, "What is it that you do here?" He said, "We make movies. These are actors, and it just happens live." So the fact that you can execute a live production movie is like fucking Broadway. It's Broadway in a ring.
I mean, they consider what do they call them a live soap opera. Essentially, most people used to call it a live athletic soap opera. Some people consider it.
That's what blows my mind because SAG is for actors, right? But wrestlers are essentially athletic actors, but they're not covered by SAG. You can't be a SAG member and get union coverage in the ring.
Yeah.
That's why
I
wrestlers
mean,
are trying to
speaking
get
of union
unionized.
coverage, man. And speaking of unionization, you see who was it the WWE let go of some female
Some
talent?
I know who you're talking about, Zaya Moore or some shit
Something
like
I
that.
don't know who she is.
And
I saw it though, and I
that's
thought of
bad.
what
That's
T was
bad
talking
news,
about.
bro.
I saw what T was talking about. I saw other people trying to say she still had like a Twitch page up, didn't want to take it down, didn't want to follow like the guidelines they set up to try to keep your stuff. And also they said
The
she started
guidelines
a
is to hand
only
over the
yeah.
thing.
And they said also like she started a OnlyFans, like that was the final straw. Her starting an OnlyFans. I was gonna have like exclusive shoots, like she didn't do with them that she paid for her own and shit. And it's like yo, seeing that man was like, I thought about when we had Specialty in here.
Yeah.
And I thought the second I read that I'm like,
Shout out to Special T, Tom
I was
Frazier.
like, yeah, man. I was like, that's
Because his whole thing is that he's already in a union. So he's a union guy. You could tell by his personality, he's like a Jimmy Hoffa character.
I know enough union guys. Trust me.
So
Between the guys at work that are in the unions, the
he's
friends
a
in
union
unions.
guy. He flashes his union card around all the time. So he has that in his blood already, and he has all the connections within, the wrestling, and he knows a lot of wrestlers and shit. But then he also knows the union reps that will help get, shit pushed. So now that all this stuff is happening with the WWE, I mean, they're saying that AEW is like a graveyard for former WWE talent to go to. But at the same time, they allow you to write your own characters, write your own storylines, do pretty much whatever the hell you want, and still have your third-party income, which is how most of these people eat. One thing that they don't tell you is that, like we said when Special T was here, these wrestlers are independent contractors. So you just get paid for the event. You got to book your own car. You got to book your own hotel. You got to book your own travel. You got to book everything yourself. So that's why they started doing these Twitch things and these Twitch streams to at least offset the cost of traveling to perform for the WWE. And they don't even want that. They want absolute control over everything, and that's just going to backfire.
Unless Vince wants to completely bomb his business.
Like, you're a billionaire already. Like, what the hell's wrong with you?
and he's also old. People say he's super out of touch. They say he doesn't see. They say that a lot of people, like I've read on a couple blogs, they're saying they don't know if they see McMahon leaving the company to Shane and Stephanie. They say that he may leave it to Triple H.
Because at least Triple H would know what to do with some of these characters. It's not so much running the production. Triple H has developed his character and a bunch of people under NXT. Like, I think NXT was his audition to take over WWE when this shit is said and done.
Whatever it is, man. But I mean, at the same time, the way you said, they say AEW is, where talent from WWE goes to die. Very easily, the same thing could have been said about, WCW back in the day, or even TNA, which we could see isn't true. Where people went there, gained some prominence again, headlined, and then, they started fizzling out. All right, I'll come back. Or look at AJ Styles, who headlined there for forever and didn't need Vince until it was like, hey, Vince needs you. And all right, now I'll come work for Vince.
And when he came with the same tights, the same...
he owns it.
Like, that's his character.
That's me. I own this, Vince. You're
It's
not
crazy.
getting AJ Styles.
I watch a lot of Howard Stern. I was watching an interview that Howard Stern did with McMahon, and I'm listening to everything he's talking about. He talked about the fact that, who he would leave his fortune to and the will and all that. And then I looked at the date. I was like, yo, this is 19 years ago. It was a 2001 interview. I think it was like right before 9/11. And McMahon was already old. The fact that he's still in the business, and when you look at him now, he looks like a fucking skeleton, bro. Like
he looks
crazy.
He looks like he's still physically fit, but you can
But
see
his
the
face,
hours, the wear and tear. They
his head
say
looks like a Lego on a strong man body, bro.
he's older. Was he in his 70s
He's in
now?
his 70s now.
He's pushing his 70s. For him to have done what he did, let's think about 20 years ago in his 50s to get that physically fit, even if he might have
He was on the
been,
cover of that bodybuilder magazine that time.
even if he may have been not respecting the WWE wellness policy. You know, I think Vince did it right. We have no proof of it. But for
I mean,
someone,
maybe the deterioration of his body right now is proof.
maybe, man, but to see how physically fit he was, that was a testament in its own that he was able to perform at his age in the ring with, these athletes is something, man, but it's just
And I saw a video not too long ago. He was showing somebody backstage how to do a stunt, and he climbed up like the rafters and jumped down. And this is at 70 years old.
Vince
He's
is
still
like,
doing it.
it's like he's not afraid, man. Like I said that one time we talked, I don't know if I'm gonna cry when Vince McMahon dies after all the things I've learned about him over the years, but it's gonna be a sad day, especially for our childhood, for the memories we had with him, the memories we had of the things he gave us. For me, all the live events at the Garden, all the things we got to experience going there and being there and witnessing it live and such.
The video games.
Those the games, man. There's so many things in our I guess you could say growing up, our adolescence that we owe to Vince McMahon, WWE in particular, man. All the pay per
I
views.
mean, he molded our neighborhood really because everything, it's down to the yard, bro. Remember when we was having the matches in the yard?
It was
Everybody, hardcore
They had a
Spider-Man.
battle royal right where I remember when they first built the steel, had the battle royal every year, man. And snow.
So wrestling was a part of this culture out here, especially when we go to school. Even in 291, everybody got good grades to go to Mr. Basalata, get those,
Everybody
autographed
wrestling. Everybody
pictures.
getting in trouble in gym class when somebody got hurt for wrestling. Like wrestling played a big part, man. There's a lot of people who think that wrestling wasn't as big as it was, or even it's fake. It's considered fake, fake in the sense of it's scripted, and that's an
Yeah,
argument.
but
we always
so
have.
is movies.
Yeah,
But actors, they get stunt doubles. Wrestlers don't.
they take those bumps.
They
Those
take
falls,
the bumps
those
themselves. They
knocks.
have to go to school. They have to learn. Every time I go to T2T Wrestling, that's the wrestling school on Skull Street, I just watch these guys, and you would think that, going to like a wrestling academy, you're going to see people wrestling. It's like they're literally just taking bumps, learning how to roll, learning how to get slammed on your back without tweaking.
It's like
It's fundamentals, bro.
it's like it's like I said the other day. You were there when my niece tripped over her croc on Sunday, and it's like it looked like she rolled her ankle. I was like, I know that ankle the way her foot went. It's like she's little, so she didn't realize that. She's been fine walking the last few weeks. I mean, the last few days. But seeing that, it's like it took me till I was an adult to learn how to fall rolling your ankle. Because me playing sports, rolling my ankles, shit,
That's like an automatic tweak.
it's an automatic tweak. But now I learned, like, you can do it to just, like, I usually just pull my weight on the other side right away so that, like, I don't fall over on it. Or, like, all right, let's put it like this. Remember that time we went to the bar and I just stepped off the curb and it was a little higher than I thought, and I rolled my ankle in the
Yeah.
street and I fell? Like I didn't know how to
Shit.
stop myself at that time.
You remember the Royal Rumble with Batista and John Cena was the last two, and Batista was supposed to throw Cena out, but they both fell out the ring, and that's when McMahon got tight and he came outside. When he goes to dive in the ring, that he hits both. They say he tore both of his quadriceps. That's what
Yeah,
it's called.
quadriceps. Quadriceps.
The pain that this man had to be going through live. You're sitting down in the ring at a live pay-per-view and nobody knows what the hell just happened. Yo, he had to be fucking furious,
Did they
bro.
throw the axe up?
They had to, like, at some point, who's gonna get him out of the ring? What are they gonna do? Carry him back by his legs? They didn't even
until they
I
go
didn't-
off.
I didn't even show. I didn't even see them like take him out of the ring. They just started changing the camera
I totally
cuts.
forgot about it. It's
He
crazy.
blew both his quads.
Think
bro.
about it like this. Remember, look at the video when Triple H tore his quad the first time, where you see it.
Yeah.
You see the muscle tear. Oh my God.
And how long does that take to heal?
It took Triple H like almost a whole year, like surgery, then rehab and training, then
So
re-strengthening.
when they cut it open, they restitched the
They
muscle.
re-stitch it or re-sew it or whatever. I actually have no idea. Just thinking about it's making me want to barf a little bit. You know.
It's crazy, bro.
Why'd you make me
Like-
think of that? I'm thinking of like I'm thinking about leg being open. I'm just,
I mean,
oh,
you was
man.
talking about rolling ankles. I want to talk about tore quads, or
Yeah,
like
dog.
when Psycho Sid jumped off the
Oh,
second rope.
oh my.
He just snapped his, what is that, a femur?
Nah, your femurs, your up here.
No, he snapped his
That was
shin.
his fibula. Fibula. I don't know what this is.
Whatever
I know
bone
one
is the
side's
shin.
Tib, one side's the fib. I don't know which one. He
And
broke.
that was a clean break.
It's like, I mean, we've seen some horrible sports injuries to our time, man. Seeing them in wrestling stuff, it's expected. Like, but seeing them like in basketball, like when these guys land funny, like when Paul George's leg buckled, when Sean Livingston's leg buckled, the guy at Louisville during the Final Four when his knee shattered. Like seeing some of these injuries, man.
So it's a actual shatter. It would be in a bunch of pieces.
Nah, he landed weird and like he had a compound fracture, like his leg bone broke through the skin.
That
Like-
shit's bugged out to me, bro.
Or even like seeing Dak Prescott's injury, like when I said it while I was watching live this season. Or even like I said, the Saquon Barkley injury. Like I thought he should have not been back in that game because it looked like he broke his wrist. The way he landed his wrist. Like if you land with all your weight as big as someone like that is with all that force and your wrist like twist at like a almost 270-degree angle, your wrist not supposed to do that. You're not no action figure. Like you ain't got no locket disconnected. Those little, it is a socket, but those sockets on toys rotate all the way. Human sockets don't. Like and seeing the way that did that, like his hand was flat, b, and like rotated like with his weight all the way, bro. And I was like, yo, I thought he broke his wrist. And then he put him back out there. Next play, he tears
So
his
that
knee.
that would not only just break the wrist, but if it doesn't break the wrist, that shit'll snap this shit right.
Yeah, man. Like it was not a pretty look, man. And it's just thinking about it, man. Even thinking about some of the injuries I've had over the times, man.
Yeah,
like,
but if you get injured, let's say in the NBA and the NFL, they have insurance. They have.
you do, I believe, through the Players Association have some amount of insurance. You have to accrue
do
a
the
certain amount of
team's
time
doctors
though.
do surgery on you?
Teams doctors usually do the surgery. The team's doctors or NFL's doctors, or if you want, you go to your own doctor. Some guys will, or go to like someone more renowned, like a Dr. James Andrews, who does a lot of like Tommy John surgeries and like ACL surgeries and stuff.
Tommy John.
Elbow. It's a ligament in your elbow. I can't remember. I think it's called the ulnar or something in your elbow, and it's an elbow.
But is Tommy John a person, or is that the name
That's
of the
the
surgery?
name of the surgery, and it's named after the first pitcher who had to have his name was Tommy John. And he was a pitcher for, if I'm not mistaken, the Atlanta Braves. And other pitchers had the injury before, and it was pretty much a death sentence for your career. But when they, medical
Is it the
advanced,
snap of the pitch?
it's the
that
elbow.
irritates
Yes.
it?
I was at a game where dude, who was it? Not Carlos Zambrano, but Victor Zambrano for the Mets. I was at a game at Shea Stadium where he was in the first inning, like the second or third pitch he threw. He tore it. And you heard, I was sitting in the blue section on the first baseline. My Aunt Sally and my Uncle Ferris's old season tickets they had where we always sat. And you heard him scream in a stadium full of people. He didn't even like stay on the mound. He threw it. You heard the scream, and he ran like he immediately elbow started walking to the dugout.
God.
They ran out. Like when you hear, like you heard him scream, bro. It's like when I told
I only sprained my ankle like once, and that was like the worst. It felt like my foot was off, and it was just the skin
Bro.
that was holding it on.
I think the first time I remember spraining my ankle was probably one of the worst, but I sprained my ankle so many times, bro. It's like
Yeah, you're an athlete.
it happens. It's
I'll go to the park and try to keep up with these guys that was playing basketball, and that's how I sprained my shit.
it's just knowing now how to fall, how to brace yourself for impact at my age, at my size. And still, and you know me, man, I'm not a person that likes to go half speed. Like, I'm a person who'll die for a loose ball. I'll die. Like, let's put it like this. When I went to play
What, 383?
flag football with
Oh,
your nephew last month and a half ago or so, when we were playing, there was a fumble, And like the guy on my team, and like I'm the only one who I dove for it. Like I dove to cover it up and like huddled it up.
Where did y'all play? It was in the city.
Yeah, it was Baruch Field. It's like right there on the FDR.
Shout out to my nephew trading forex.
Yeah, man, out here selling now. You see him in his little the sneaker shit, man. That's the little.
Yeah, he got a nice
The
little
sneaker
sneaker
gear.
business on IG.
People look like you doing all right, man. Look like you doing good, man. Like
That's always been our hustle, like flipping sneakers. And then he gets brand new pairs. That's where the fuck you get these
brand new pairs. Sneakers people want, like not like the sneakers I see him post on sneakers. I believe you can just walk into like a Jimmy Jazz or a Foot Locker and get like that. These look like limited joints or like joints that if you do walk in there, those are like the 300 joints, the ones that you looking like, man, what's the difference between those and those? And those are like super limited editions with like only 1,000 pairs made.
We're going to take a quick second right now to remind you guys that we're broadcasting live from First Live Studio here at 219 Central Avenue, Bushwick, Brooklyn, New York, of course. Right off the M train, Central
Avenue.
Or you could take the
M
L
train
to
station,
DeKalb.
L to DeKalb. Just get into Bushwick and it's easy. Here's the thing.
Scroll down, check out.
Just get to Bushwick, anywhere in Bushwick, and you'll figure it out. You know, people like to think
Refreshing.
Bushwick is much larger than it actually is, even though Bushwick is fairly large. It's not that hard to get here. So, you know.
And of course, this is this Saturday, you said? Yeah. This Saturday, our good friend Bree with the Slap Collective, of course, hosting Friendsgiving 2020 Visual Artists Plus Community Showcase here at First Live. For more information, go to theslapcollective.org/Friendsgiving. That's at 7:30 p.m. November 28th. Just another.
That's this Saturday, right?
Ah.
Shit, is that the live stream?
We're live.
Shit.
Look at that.
Yeah, man. So, oh wow, looky what it is. Let's see the Watchtower building again. At some point, that picture is going to really start to annoy me. It's not going to be a joke anymore, and the annoyance is going to be real.
So I guess we should talk about the fact that I guess Trump is conceding. That's what it's called now.
And has he actually conceded? He hasn't. He's yet to. I think he's just made the that lady at the administration general whatever administration. I think it's the General Services Administration, make the funds available for them to begin the transition. I'd seen, tweets last week. I'd seen reports that he said, like, insiders were admitting that he knew he lost, and he's just dragging it out to, get back at them for saying all the collusion and stuff in the 2016 election and get, all that and everything going on.
What upsets me is the fact that there's so much garbage information out there that I don't even know. Like, that could have been somebody making a meme, and now it's circulated enough that people think it's true.
Nah, they said that he made it available, that he hasn't conceded, and he even tweeted out, since when does, allowing the transition to begin mean you've lost? Like, he tweeted that out right after, like, it became news. So he's doing his own thing. Even what judges are saying when they are throwing the cases out and such, man. So it's just at this point, we still have to let it play out. It's gonna drag out.
Just step down.
The writing's on the wall. I think what's scarier is like I said, like I've told people, is the firing of all these people inside, at these spots, and these are mainly people that didn't agree with his views on things and the way he wanted to go about handling issues.
Yeah, but once Biden goes in, can't he just hire whoever the hell he wants?
Biden brings his own cabinet, but until that transition happens on January 20th at noon, then the president, President Donald Trump, still gets a pretty big say in things going on. And
Plagiarism, man. Look at that.
Joe America is back.
Who's that? That's
Joe Biden tweeted that.
he tweeted what? America is back.
So there's that happening. He's already started announcing his cabinet picks. People are still talking about, I believe Georgia and Philadelphia certified their recounts. Not Philadelphia, Georgia and Pennsylvania. I believe Georgia did a manual by hand recount of all the ballots. outside of the machine counts, and it was still an overwhelming margin. Um, it's just like I said, we won't have any definitive, until January
Until
20th.
January, what is it? First?
January 20th at noon. January 20th at noon, if I'm not mistaken, is when, the inauguration happens, when you get to see Air Force Marine One fly off. The other president takes the oath. I forgot where they usually do it.
So who gets in the plane? The past president?
Past president gets in Marine One and flies off. And that's the helicopter. And the next president takes the ride to the Capitol and takes the oath at the in front of the Capitol building. Oath of office at the Capitol building.
So where the hell does the old president go?
Home.
Go to the bar.
I think they go to Canada. I mean, they go somewhere.
Take me to
and then
Pine Box.
they have their plans. They have their old homes. I mean, I guess Trump go back to one of his old places. Maybe he'll go to Mar-a-Lago, wherever he goes. I think I've long held the belief,
Position in what way?
in the sense that like I've always said, in the sense that I've always, since I was a kid, had the feeling like, saying, how long were we seeing them jam Hillary Clinton down our throat as first female president?
Oh yeah.
How long, Danny? How long did we see that? Like in the '90s, where they like Hillary Clinton jokes as first female president, while the second Bill Clinton became president, the Hillary Clinton first female president joke started. You never heard about Laura Bush, or what was it, Barbara Bush, or Nancy Reagan. You never heard him talk about any of them. Not even Jackie Kennedy. None of them. Not even Eleanor Roosevelt.
Because,
and all the strength she showed. None of it.
That's because Hillary Clinton is a
But
shark,
in the
bro.
'90s, the second Bill got elected, started the Hillary Clinton first female president jokes. And, I mean, it felt
She
like...
went up
look
against
at how
Obama, right?
Huh?
She went up against Obama.
She ran against Obama in 2008 in the primaries. Obama beat her and won the nomination. And she was Secretary of State for him for the first year.
What always makes me laugh is how much shit they talk about each other during these debates, and then when the one person wins and one person loses, that person ends up working for them. It's like, you just finished dropping all this dirt on me for like 2 hours on national television, and now we're gonna hug and take some IG pics.
It's
Get the
crazy,
hell outta
man.
here, bro.
It's crazy. It's nuts. But, I mean, for a long time, I've always felt that. I feel like when you look at, and I've said it for the longest time, you look at him the night he won in 2016. You look at those pictures of everybody, like Mike Pence and everybody, like, yeah, we won. And he's sitting there like, I thought I was done after tonight. I thought I could go away. I have to do this for another 4 years. Like, and I've long said, you look at him, bro. We've worked with people like this. The person who wants to get fired so bad, but the job won't fire them, and they have to keep showing up to the job every day. Like, he can't just resign or quit. Like, he could,
Because he wants to collect that unemployment.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So you can't just quit. You got to get fired. And honest to God, some of the things he said and did was just like, fire me. I don't give a fuck. Fucking fire me. It's like put it like this. Those days when, like I said, when me and Kenny would have some days where I'd be like, yo, I don't want to be here, man. Send me the love. Send me someone else. Send me someone else.
Yeah.
Like him. That's him. That was him almost every day of his administration. I'll do what I want. Fire me if you don't like it. Fire me then. And still, no one fired him. No one worried. No one was concerned. And here we are. Here we are 4 years later, and no one at all thought about it. It'll take a long time for me not to believe that thought. That's just me mainly, though. I'm not saying everyone believed that, but that's mainly my thought process on that. I've always thought he was controlled opposition that wasn't supposed to win. He was supposed to say buffoonish, crazy, outlandish, borderline racist,
Until it started working.
crazy things. Only it reverberated and worked with people who actually share those thoughts.
People who came out in droves
People
to go vote.
And
The
and
look of
it
shock.
opens his eyes. And all I say is I use that old school Kanye West lyric, man, from his first album, "Racism Still Alive." They just be concealing it. Like, if you ever thought America worked through its race issues, then you're obviously blind. And even through the 8 years of Obama, what were the things we were seeing? Them burning effigies of him as an ape, him as a gorilla. All the things. I didn't agree with his policies. I didn't love the man as a president, but I never stooped to that level.
He was just too flaunty as a celebrity. That was my main issue.
I understand. I understand that.
Why are you on Ellen?
I fully understand people
Like,
that have
the
that
fuck?
problem, and then doing a little
What the hell are you
He
doing
was
on the
even-
Tonight
there-
Show?
There'd never been a president. All right, let's think of the smoothest president before that was who? Bill Clinton. He played
Bill
the
Clinton.
sax. There'd never really been presidents like that. Did either of the Bushes ever go on late night TV? I don't think so.
I don't think they would have the gall to allow them to even engage with somebody without someone next to them telling them what to say.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Imagine George Bush Jr. on Letterman.
You know what's crazy? I could actually think that, and it's wild. That's all it took was these 4 years to forget his 8 years.
Yeah.
It took these 4 years to forget Bush's 8 years, and I point that out to people. Look at how people who hated George Bush now love him, and he's this lovable frittata, can't get a poncho on right. Michelle Obama's best friend whenever the Obamas and the Bushes are around each other. You know, him and Michelle have that, great relationship, which they actually have both talked about. And she said he's actually a really warm, nice man. But how do you
I feel
judge
like,
it?
all right, so now we got Biden, right? So for the next 4 years, everybody's gonna always talk about the days of Trump, as they're gonna refer to those as the bad days. Let's just say, for argument's sake, that after Biden serves his term of 4 years, Mike Pence gets elected for president.
That's never going to happen.
But let's just say, you think people are even gonna remember the Trump time? Now they're gonna be thinking, yo, this is the worst time in American history.
Here's what's going to happen.
It's gonna be.
Here's what I honestly
itself.
think is going to be the beginning, where American politics are headed. Honestly, at this point, and this is what I told you scared me the most with what Trump was saying, Trump's reverberation, is that there are still clearly people in this country who share those thoughts, who share those old, deep American-like thoughts, certain things, who learn about this, the dream of what America was supposed to be, a beacon of hope for everyone in the world. Like I said, America is no longer this shining beacon of hope to the world like it was. Especially over the last 4 years, the things we do over the world, the things we've done in the world over the last couple decades.
I feel like the rest of the world was on a date with America, right? And then somewhere along the last 4 years, they saw America without makeup on. And they saw America for exactly what the hell it is.
I mean, a lot of the world had already seen America without makeup on. Only Americans saw America without makeup on. Americans have been forced to see America without makeup on, without the flashy production, with no filters. Americans are finally getting. The rest of the world views America very differently than we have
They
to stop
look at
saying
us like
that.
idiots.
You know what? We have to stop saying America too, because it's not only that's the thing about Americans. We consider the United States of America America. We don't consider it North. Like, we're North America. We're in North America. We're part of North America. There's Central America. There's South America.
So
We're not
United
just
States.
America. We're the United States of America. And the hubris of Americans, us included, is that we just sat here and close the time referring to America as America. Like, this is it. Like, there's no Central America. All the countries in Central America don't exist. All the countries in South America don't exist. Mexico and Canada don't exist. American, and it's the hubris of Americans.
That's the arrogance of
of
us.
Americans, and we just sat here and displayed it. But I'm happy I was able to catch that on us. But look at that, and look at how easily that was for us to. How frequently we've said that, and if we go back, how often do we correct ourselves, or do I say these United States of America or the United States of America, and not just America?
What was funny is people in Canada are considered Canadians. People in Mexico are considered Mexicans. People in the States are considered Americans. Like, that's just the lingo that's just been established by us.
By us. But it's also like when we had Victor Guy Washington in that day, when he asked us, where did the term race come from? When did the term race start? That falls in line with that.
But I think other countries as well refer to us as Americans. Because they don't say he's from the United States. They say he's American, stupid American.
We're very, because people, Canadians, and I'll say South Americans, Central Americans, Mexicans, view Americans quite differently, because Americans don't view America the same way. They think that everyone gets the same cut. We think everyone gets the same shake. And it's very obviously, if 2020 hasn't been anything more than painfully obvious at the issues this country has and we need to get around, then I don't know what it was.
You think we're any closer to getting around it?
Hell to the no. Hell no. Hell no.
Because a lot of people are looking at this Biden presidency as like the savior, and I think that's the wrong attitude to have.
That's the wrong attitude to go into. Looking at it is the wrong attitude to go into any administration looking for. And every administration is usually just, how do we fix whatever the last administration did we didn't want to do? And they're just going to take off whatever Trump put on what Obama had. It's going to be tough to get a lot of things through. I think one of the bigger things he's going to have to achieve right away is figuring out fixing people financially for the coronavirus, man. The way that, and it's even looking at it, man. Like I saw another list, man. They had, I saw a meme, and it said, in Germany they're getting up to, 1,200, 1,600 a month. Australians up to this month.
I think I saw that.
It said Canadians up to this much, wherever. It's just a list, and then it said Americans, click here to donate now. And the rest of the world is laughing at us. The rest of the world is sitting there pointing at us and laughing at us, man.
Even more so when I think the toilet paper thing kind of did some damage to our
it did. You had people fighting over toilet
reputation.
paper.
It was like they was fighting for the toilet paper the way people fight for TVs on Friday.
I want to see what Black Friday is going to be like this Friday, because
Are stores opening?
Stores are going to be open. I want to see how the social distancing works. I
It's
want to
not
see.
gonna happen.
Let's rumble! Somebody's gonna.
Yo.
I took my pre-workout.
The videos that usually come out the Saturday after.
Oh no, we getting these day of. We getting these day of, man.
It's
Like
like-
there's gonna. I want to see how they handle this, man.
It's gonna be a shit show for sure. It was already a shit show even long before COVID or social distancing. Or
I think
anything
the
like
best
that.
thing a lot of these stores did is do away with the doorbusters. But if the doorbusters are all day sales. There's no more doorbusters from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. only. Black Friday. Get there. Only 10 supplies.
That's how you have a only 10 supplies. We only have 10 of them.
Only 10 per store. First come, first serve.
You got
One per
50,000
customer.
people in the goddamn
And then you
parking
get a
lot.
family of 7 come up, and they try to cop the 7, and then they realize them 7 together, and then
It's always been sloppy. Man.
I've seen all types of crazy things, man. But like I said, I
worked
think
at
a lot
Guitar
of stores too, because you have Amazon with their Cyber Monday. Obviously, they start their Black Friday
The only
sales.
Black Friday retail thing I've ever experienced was when I was working at Guitar Center, and we was right next to the Chuck E. Cheese, the one on 48th Street, and the people lined up there, like you couldn't move. It was it's like 6 in the morning.
For Chuck E. Cheese?
No, for Guitar Center, but it was right next to Chuck E. Cheese.
I thought you said nobody really came in like that.
No, the one because I was there for a couple of years.
I thought you said that people came on Black Friday was calm, cool, knew what they wanted.
No,
They would wild on Black
Yeah.
Guitar Center too.
Yeah.
Shit.
just because of the discounts, and then the people would. And there was a lot of tricks that was going on in there. A lot of people would have, the operations manager at the time. He had this church that he had created.
So they were using
So he
non-profit.
was using his Guitar Center discount. Then he was tax exempt with his church,
and then
and
flipping
then
it.
he was sending that stuff to Korea to flip it out there. He had a whole scheme. He ended up getting fired for that shit. But yeah, bro, they was wilding out.
Yeah, that's
They was wilding
crazy.
out for that one.
That is crazy. That's wild, man. But like I said, when I did Toys R Us Black Fridays, man, I did the time the store director almost got trampled when the Tickle Me Elmo 10th anniversary came out, man. And first off, they were limited editions. There weren't that many out. And then we had one box came on the truck, and people wanted it. And the assistant manager, my homie Eric, one of my good friends, was against putting them out. He was like, "Yo, they're gonna cause riots, gonna cause a fight. Don't put it out. Say we don't have any. Put them out tomorrow after the sale's done. Not after the sale's done, but say just got them in. There'll be less people and
Yeah.
let them grab them then, as opposed to this motherfucker, this genius decides no, we're gonna put them out on the floor, and we're gonna put them right
Out in the open.
in the open in front, bro. When he went to open the door, it was locked, and it was so bad when we were trying to get in, we couldn't get in through the front. They had to come and let us in through the emergency exit. That's how bad people were crowded in the front.
This was where Toys R Us?
Toys R Us, Middle Village. And, they had to open up the emergency exit to get us in. Like that's how they would, because people were crowded up in front in those doors. You remember how they used to be in with Kmart, and then Kmart had their
Was this around Tickle Me Elmo time?
yeah, I said Tickle Me Elmo, Tickle Me Elmo 10th anniversary. Yo, when he went to open the doors, the doors are supposed to automatically open up. People filing, yo, people push those doors in, bro. This dude almost died. He almost
They're
got trampled.
sliding doors. They got pushed inwards.
Well, I mean, in the event of emergency, those doors are supposed to
Oh, they do that?
come off like that. You're supposed to just be able to push them open, and they open like regular doors and fly out, and you have that whole thing open to move through.
I told you when it was relaxed at Guitar Center was when I was doing security. For Black Friday, I was still a manager.
Ah,
That's when I was a manager of accessories. So they had like, I think it was like 40% off all guitar pedals, strings, the books. So the Rush, and then on top of that, they had like Les Pauls on sale, like the expensive guitars. That place used to get fucking
speaking of
crazy,
Guitar
bro.
Center, you saw that they fell for Chapter 11.
Yeah.
That's sad, man.
Because everybody right now, I mean, back in the day, it was culture to go into Guitar Center
Try
and
it
play the guitar. So you would go in there with your friends, your band, whatever. And you used to spend hours there. I used to do this shit all the time. And then slowly but surely, everything, like, you don't necessarily have to go test anything out because everybody has videos online testing the shit out. You want to hear how it sounds like this, like that, go and listen to it in HD because now you're going to hear a product that's similar to what you would record with it. And then on top of that, you got COVID, all this shit. The hours changing consistently. Every time I go to 48th Street, it's closed like at noon. And then somebody will come in and open the doors at 1 o'clock. It's like there's no consistency there no more.
Yeah, that's one thing that I'll admit is kind of annoying, is the inconsistency in hours. And I get with COVID, like you want to, get cleaned up, get things done right. But I don't understand these businesses like opening at noon now, like closing at 6,
It's
closing
like,
at
come
7.
on, it's past
At least
that.
what happened like 10 a.m. And I get now with the surge coming back, like, all right, you're a little bit concerned still, but these places that have stayed with that 12 to 7, 12
But
to
you're
8.
a franchise. It's not even like you're a mom and pop. Like, you have to be consistent across all of your branches. If the city opens up at 10, then open up at 10 in Queens. What the hell you doing opening up at 12?
I mean, I can understand if they're short staffed, they can't get enough people there, or whatever the issue is right now. I understand with everything going on. But that is something that does also annoy me, man.
And then the way that they, like, I went to the one in the city not too long ago. I think it was on 14th and 5th. And they have somebody in the front. You check in. You got to have your mask and all that shit. But then I'm circling the store. And there's I'd say about 25 employees there. And 3 customers in the store. It's like, why is so many people? Like, when I was working at Guitar Center, if there were no people in the store and there was too many people working, you got sent home. It's like, why are we going to pay you if nobody's coming in? They just had like at least 25 people. It's 2 floors, that store. They had at least 15 on top, 10 on the bottom. Everybody's just talking to each other, circulating. Who's paying that? Guitar Center's paying that. No wonder the fuck you going broke. Not only is nobody coming to the store, but you have 25 people on staff.
I would hate the days and the nights like at the bars where it's raining, it's snowing, slow as hell. Nobody coming in, like slow. Like you get playing and cutting. It's like, why not just close at this point?
Just close.
Like I get you have to stay consistent, close it. It's like at this point you're burning more on energy, manpower, paying everyone. Like you're burning more money than it's the rules. Like I would always hate that those nights that just drag by with a slow night like this. Like why can't we close early, or at least start the process of closing early so that when it hits that time we're done. Like we're out the door at that time.
And what's crazy is there was a time when no one would ever expect that one would be locked up in the house. We have to wear masks, shit like that. Like when I was working at Guitar Center, that had been the norm for so long. Just people consistently coming in, trying out the equipment, having fun in an open area that everybody just thinks, oh, this shit's always going to be like this. Then one by one, you just see all these mom and pop shops because they was the first to go. There's a music store on Franklin by my house that's been closed since COVID. And this is a guy who went in there, put all that shit in there himself, teaches guitar lessons, and he can't even make a living.
That's why, like I said, the most important thing I think Biden and his administration have to do right now, if their transition being allowed, is to allow the ease and to figure out a way to help small businesses. And I mean, I don't agree with AOC on much. I'm not a fan of hers at all. Not a fan at all. And I think she's 100% right that any of these next bailouts should not go to any of these billionaire corporations or any of these corporations, especially any of these that have capitalized during this. None of them.
So let me ask you a question. If Biden goes on a podium and says, I'll leave everything open, we'll go back to the way society used to be. Everybody takes this vaccine right now. You on that line?
No, I ain't on that line. Who's taking it? I'm sorry, man. Like, people are like, oh, it's safe. Like, yo, we see vaccines take long, man. I'm sorry, man. Like, I want to see, like, let's see a couple rounds of that before I even want to look at
It's
the
like
vaccine.
it's like if we don't even buy PlayStation when it first comes out because of the glitches that could possibly happen.
You know how
think we're gonna
badly I want
inject
to play
ourselves with some
Spider-Man
shit?
Miles Morales, and I'm sitting here like, yo, I could buy this for PS4, but I want it on PS5. Like, when I first saw it, I saw PS5. I didn't know it was coming out on PS4. So while, like, when I found out, yeah, I can get it on PS4 too, that's kind of dope. I'm also like, nah, man, but I need that on PS5. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and like you said,
Did you like that movie?
what? I didn't watch it yet. I have to watch it soon. It's supposed to leave Netflix soon. I did not get to watch it yet.
I've seen it.
It's
pretty good.
I heard it was pretty good. You know what I saw? I watched the beginning, like the first 2 minutes of it, and it made me laugh when it had they were making fun of Spider-Man. Not the Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire one. When
Yeah.
a lot of people hated me because I walked like this.
The way they broke the story down to the multiple Spider-Mans, that shit was dope.
The way what's dope though, man, is they're saying that the next Spider-Man that comes out is supposed to be like that, the live action one, like the next MCU.
I think they
Spider-Man.
have all three. They got
gonna be like the
Tobey, they got
Spider-Verse.
and then damn, I was just about to say something, bro. I forgot it.
Yeah, man. It's
God
it's
damn.
crazy, man. But I mean, it's gonna
About
be.
Spider-Man too. Shit.
It's about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
What about it?
It'll come back to
I
me.
mean, these comic book movies, though, man. I mean, even people were saying it, though, man. Like, they're saying it's getting crazy how these
that's what I
comic
was gonna
book
say.
video games are becoming a much better representation of the comics and everything they encompass than these movies are.
It wasn't
And-
about Spider-Man, but I remember it now.
What was it?
It was just this random video that I saw yesterday. I thought it was funny. I'll show you after, but it was Hugh Jackman. He's on a red carpet. You know Hugh Jackman. So he's on a red carpet for Wolverine, and somebody goes to interview him. And he looks at the guy's face, and he starts smiling. So the guy's talking, and then Hugh Jackman was that guy's gym teacher. So he turns the camera around. He was like, I taught this guy physical education. How's that been going? He's like, it showed like a human aspect to it. And I was just like,
You
yeah,
know,
that's
one of the
pretty
things
dope.
is one of the things you don't see, man, is like when some of these people are human. They're all not robots. And you'll
Like,
be shocked
imagine
at the people
Wolverine
they
was
do
your gym
remember.
teacher.
Like, I've seen some of the people have like older people. I'm talking like my dad's age, our parents' age, or or in that age group, if not a little younger than them, have like their teachers come to see them on Broadway, and they're like, and I'd be like, this was my music teacher when I was in elementary school. This was my choir coach, like, and these are people, and you see a human interaction. It's insane, man. That these and people, and it's one of the things I tell you too when I frequently see celebrities, man. It's like they're people. Like, yeah, I want to autograph. I love your autograph. There's very few people I think I'd go like head over heels for. Like, I need an autograph. Other than that, I can admit, yo, I saw this person. I bumped into that person. I can live with that memory. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember, I try to think of the fact that, yo, this person. How many people have probably asked this person for a picture already today? Like the ones that ask you, like, yo,
I
you
never
want
really
a picture?
fanned. All right, there was, the picture that I took with Julian Casablancas of the Strokes. I think that was the worst that I fanned out for because I chased him 2 blocks down. I was in Gizzy's, and I'm with JD. So we just staring out the window. You know how the seating was at Gizzy. So I'm staring out the window, and this guy walks by with a carriage and his girl, and I went like that, and JD's like, "You all right?" And then I slowly start walking outside, and my heart starts pounding. I'm just finished listening to the Strokes. And on that strip, Lady Electric Studios, that's where they would cut their records. So it's raining, bro. And I started slow walking. Then I realized, yo, this is him. This is him. then he just turns around and he notices that I'm chasing him. And he starts talking to me. We take a picture. And I don't even have that fucking picture anymore. But
Damn.
I think that was the worst that I ever fanned out.
Like the worst.
Once I got in the industry, there was just like, ixnay that shit.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that. You'll lose your job.
Yeah.
So when I was at Shea 45, I had to keep a
That's
straight
one thing
face.
we're told. Like when we were working, like we can't take pictures with the people. Some people do. Like I didn't. Like I told you when I saw the lady from ESPN, Sarah Spain, man, and like I turned around and said it out. Oh shit, that's Sarah Spain, and she heard me because she's only like 10, 15 feet away from me, and she walked up, shook my hand, said hi. We spoke and asked if I want to take a picture. And I'd say I'm not allowed to, but like she asked, hey, you want a picture with me? It's like
That's dope.
even I told you next night Tony Kornheiser came in and same thing. It's like no, we're not allowed to take pictures, man. There have been people there that we met them when I met Michael Kay. He made fun of me for being a Met fan. You don't know who Michael Kay is. He's the announcer on Yankee games on the Yes Network. He made fun of me for being a Met fan. And even he offered me like, yo, you want to take a picture? It's like I can't. We're not allowed
That's
to.
the thing. I mean, there's a time and place, especially if you're in a place where there's a play going on, or you're walking through a crowd. You gotta expect that shit. But coming out of Starbucks, I saw this video of somebody that it was like snowy outside, and they was chasing Quentin Tarantino after he came out of Starbucks, and he's just like, "What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?" And then he starts changing, like he starts going off on them. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that, and they don't like that, and they don't like those people that hound them for autographs to sell them on eBay. Like that's one of the biggest disrespectful things that you could do to a fucking celebrity, bro.
like I remember one time we were out bowling. We went to Lucky Strikes on 12th Avenue and 42nd, and when we walked in, a little while later, one of those Sprinter vans pulled up, and we were outside. They were smoking a cigarette. I was hitting my vape, and we're talking. A couple people walk in. Chick walks by. I'm like, yo, that's young man. That's young ma. I was like, no, that's not. I was like, dude. I was like, that's young ma. And then I heard her voice when she walked by. I'm like, yo, that's her. And I was like, no, it's not. And like bowling and everything down there. And then somebody followed, like, yo, young ma. I was like, I told y'all that was her.
When we had her at Shade 45, one of the first questions that I think it was Coach that asked her, what does the MA stand for? She said, myself always.
So young ma, young and May.
It's Young MA.
I always say young and May. Somebody says young ma, young and May, man. I always say
It's
young
Young
May.
MA. Myself always.
Where's she been at musically recently? She gotta be cooking up something.
I mean, the thing, or when she first came to Shade, by that time, she wasn't like, I think her shit was just hitting the radio, and she was just doing some initial promo work. But essentially, she was catching a buzz in the street. This manager, the dude that was with her that day, he has like a joint company, a distribution or whatever he was doing, and then he basically started managing her career from that point. After that big radio run, it was just like a couple of music videos came out, and I don't know if she went back to just underground shit, because she's probably still doing releases for her hardcore fans, but she's not getting that same wave of radio play that
she had when she first came
like
out.
that's not gonna happen, without a cash investment. And they say payola's dead, nobody's taking money, but that's bullshit. You just have to have the bank.
I don't know how that's.
But the whole thing about it is, the only reason to payola was so that you had radio DJ support to help you push the show, to help you push the next concert, to help sell tickets. There's no shows, so why the hell is anybody gonna pay to get on the radio now?
I mean, I haven't heard. I mean, actually, every time I turn on radio, I just feel like I'm more and more disappointed. Anytime I hear actual like FM radio,
there was this meme that I downloaded. It says something like MTV turns 29 today. Thank you for 14 years of music.
probably closer. Thank you for 10, man. They haven't really been doing music since like
Haven't
2002.
done anything, bro.
They haven't done music for like the last 18, 20 years, man. If we're really gonna be honest with you.
It's like
Like, for you
if
to
that's
be
the
music
case, bring back
television.
Bobby Simmons. Bring back Bobby Simmons, bro. Flavor videos.
Like, but no one does videos anymore. Really, BET
'Cause you
doesn't do
can't.
music anymore.
You can't.
Like nobody does music. Like VH1 doesn't do it anymore. Like
You don't remember the thing I tried to do, hot new music videos, where I had to show that I was recording myself playing the music video. My shit got flagged 20 times. Like, you cannot play nobody else's shit no more. Like, and
Wow.
it's too much red tape.
Well, they did it to their own careers because now, I mean, you gotta generate people to your YouTubes. But before, if you had a good video, man, that generate. I remember when we first got like the real good digital cable, not when we had the cheap cable that only had like 90 channels back in the day, Cablevision. When we got digital cable that came with all the channels, like we got HBO West, HBO, all those, like
Yeah.
when we got like the satellite channels. And I remember in the mornings,
Was that
man,
when the phone number starts popping up on your TV when
that was
someone calls?
that came later down the line. But when we got like the new boxes that had all the channels,
Mm.
I remember watching like MTV hits in the morning. I'll watch before school and listen to music, man. And it's just like, yo, like there was a time when that was a thing, like music videos all day on some. They do still have those channels like somewhere down the line on these cable channels, but it's not the same type of music.
And
And
it's they're not gonna play
and a lot of
shit
it
that's
too.
currently in circulation.
Nah, they do. But you know what? A lot of it is too. Also, a lot of them now because of digital cable. Why put that on and charge somebody? I mean, or pay someone, run a show, have to set up a whole show. A lot of them just go on demand.
Everything's on demand
You
now.
can go on demand. Go to these on demands. You can pick any video, and then they have catalogs. They'll have 90s hits, 80s hits. Let's get
Is that
90s.
the
Let's
music
get-
hits in the script? I know what you're talking about.
And you just
My
go
mom
through.
has that.
Every once in a while, I'll go there. I'll see. You'll see all types of it. That's actually where I first saw the no guidance video. Remember when I told you like I seen? I was like, yo,
Yeah.
this dude was straight. I saw it on that, and I saw.
They
a couple
play
of
them uncensored.
Some of them, some not all of them, but most of them. A great chunk of them they do.
It's funny. There was this show on BCAT. They used to play music videos. And for the listeners who don't know what the hell BCAT is, that's Brooklyn Community Access Television. It's like the
I didn't know this stuff. I was just gonna say it's like Brooklyn Public Access Television.
yeah, it's Brooklyn Community Access Television. So they was playing music videos, and they played this music video from Chromeo, "Needy Girl." You're a needy girl. I could tell when I look in your big brown eye. So this was a song.
I've never even heard that song.
You've heard it. You've heard it. I've played it in front of you 1,000 times.
That's one of those songs I'm gonna tell you.
So
different thing
once you hear it again, you're like, oh, that's dumb shit. So it's funny because I was looking at this. I remember Christian was in the house. This is when I had the drum set in the room. This is how long ago this shit was. And Christian's there with me, and we were both watching this. We was like, yo, this band is pretty decent. He's like, oh, but you know, they only play music videos from people that's never gonna make it. Then like a year later, I'm at Guitar Center working. They were on the front cover of the Guitar Center magazine. It's just like, holy shit.
I mean,
Then I'm reading the interview, and they're like, yeah, I just started out with playing my videos on community access television, and the right people started seeing it. I was like, shit, man.
gotta put yourself out there. That's what I mean. But how many people do we tell that to? Like, you'll never know what you can achieve or what you can do. Like saying, nah, I'm not ready to release this. I don't want to put it out there yet. Like, I hate that.
Yeah, but when we first started doing radio, we were broadcasting on Spreaker. Spreaker's completely independent. Well, it was at that time. I'm not sure if they integrated with everything else now.
I haven't even looked at Spreaker in forever.
So, like the last time that I looked, the entire integration is different. It's a different platform. But we was doing strictly radio. We could play anybody's song. We could do anything because essentially it was just file storage. This wasn't being syndicated anywhere. And I think since then, I think like so many red flags pop up if you play a clip of anything that's copywritten by someone else, you know, even uploaded before.
Are you talking about copyrights right now? Did you see that that rapper who recently didn't get that sample cleared and got flagged? It's been like a thing. It's like a
No.
Kirk Franklin song. It's been like a thing. It's called Rain. And it's like a Kirk Franklin gospel song, and he sampled it, but like a strip club anthem. It turned into apparently Kirk Franklin one. Obviously, Kirk Franklin ain't gonna be cool with that.
Like that's not in line with the Kirk Franklin brand.
So he didn't allow the sample to clear. The guy still apparently dropped it and got flagged, and like this going back and forth. And then some other producer said something like, everybody knows we're gonna get the sample cleared, not to do it. And like he's like, when I did that, like I didn't release it. I played it at a party, and I was the only one who had it. I didn't drop it, syndicate it, and put it on streaming sites. You know, it's like.
But that's the illegal aspect. All right, if this dude, SoundCloud is just audio storage, just like that Piff.
Yeah.
If you release it on those platforms, you're not violating any terms of agreement because you're not making any money. The minute you start putting that shit on Spotify, on Tidal, any sort of revenue generation, you could make 50 cents. They'll come after you for 50 million. Like they don't care.
Like it's kind of like I feel people on that. Like it's like, but I also feel like I felt like the J. Cole shit on the end of 2014 Forest Hills Drive when he was doing the credits on the album, the last joint he did. It was like, and they blank out whoever it is, and I like to this day, if I ever meet him, I want to ask him who was that, bro. Like it's like, and it's like they bring it out like to like they like blank the name whatever he said to motherfuckers like that who you don't want to let albums clear samples, and he's like talking about samples clear. He's like, yo, shout out to whoever in Japan just cleared that last sample, by the way. He's like, I'm trying to do this now, get it all, so get it ready, get it printed out. Probably ain't even gonna get to do credits for the album. Like he's doing like the talking credits on, how people do that for the last track. Like he's doing it, talking about everybody with everything, and he's like, and then he's like, if you put it out, he said, he's like, if you put the art out there in the world, other artists should be able to use it. You should get compensated for it duly, but like you shouldn't be able to tell other artists, especially artists like you might work with, might influence that they can't use it. Like I understood where he was coming from, but also understand the artist aspect with someone like a Prince who like look, anything from Prince get flag pulled off of YouTube in a second, bro. You don't see no Prince like one of the greatest halftime shows ever. Prince in the rain in the, not Orange Bowl in Miami in the old Miami.
It was
Stadium.
actually him.
Prince at the Super Bowl, and this was before he died. It's like 15 years ago. And when he started playing Purple Rain in the rain, in the rain.
I gotta see
and
that
there's
clip.
no footage. You can't find it anywhere. You can there's a small. It's like an 8-minute Pepsi like little behind the scenes about that. I'm talking about it and about how epic.
So
that performance was.
all the people there, nobody has no footage of this shit.
It's Prince, bro. Like even Pepsi, they have all the halftime shows up. They don't even have that up. Cause that's just Prince's. That was Prince's creed. Like if it ain't me, put it out. It don't go out.
So like, I've been dealing a lot with BeatStars, and dealing with BeatStars, you get to know the contracts a little better. So now I've been taking a lot of the old sessions that I have. Now that I learned mixing and mastering, I've been mixing the shit, recording, mastering, doing everything. It's starting to sound pro. And the fact that I have songs that's completely 100% original production, that puts me in a position to get 100% of distribution and 100% of the publishing when I release this. A lot of people think that when you go on BeatStars or you buy beats from anybody to try to put stuff out there, whether it's a sample cleared or not, because what happened is with Lil Nas X, he bought a beat from BeatStars that had an uncleared sample. So he and the producer ended up getting sued because the producer's contract gives him 50% of distribution and 100% of the publishing. And the only reason artists do that shit is because they would make 100% of their money on the road. You don't have any road anymore. So now we have the tools available to us, bro.
I mean, but you don't have the road right now. Like, there's no guarantee it's never coming back.
No, it's gonna come back.
It's gonna come back.
It's gonna come back in its own form, though.
But that's also where it comes down to, this is no one's fault. Whatever happened, there's a couple people could lay blame at for it getting this bad, but it's no one's fault. But people have to also realize that
Is that your phone?
Yeah, that's me going off. I don't know why. Like people have to realize to rely on yourself sometimes, and like it shows. Like even how they said it. Like these rappers, a lot of them don't think it's ever gonna dry up, and y'all see like some of these guys probably hurting that got all this jewelry and all that, but you still owe on the
Time for that pawn shop.
You only making money off of streaming now. You ain't putting nothing new out. Most people was already getting tired of your gimmick. I mean,
like what happened with Taylor Swift. You don't have access to your catalog once you sign that big deal and you take an advance. So now when they are capitalizing off of all the streams and you have no more touring to do because everything's shut down, now you talking about you're gonna re-record every single song you ever fucking did just to put it out
but
again?
she's like I said, we had this conversation. That comes down to star power. She's one of those people who her fans, those hardcore Taylor Swift fans, those hardcore T Swift fanatics. I don't know what you call them. I don't know. There's got to be some sort of
fucking start an OnlyFans. Start $1 a month OnlyFans where you play your stuff acoustic in front of a regular fucking camera and you'll make $1 million a month.
She, someone like her, I'll say, wouldn't do OnlyFans simply because of the stigma currently attached to OnlyFans.
It could be a fucking Patreon. It could be anything.
Listen to me. I can see her. And listen,
people,
her fans will gobble that shit. She's one of those people with hardcore I love you fans that are always going to be
Swifters.
There you go, the Swifters. That's probably what they are. The T Swifters.
The T Swifters.
And people are like that. It's like I said, like with the hardcore Springsteen fans, the hardcore Stones fans, people that are fans of these people for forever. And she has fans that are gonna follow her career that are gonna be like, yo, I'll support that. And she probably, she has I don't want to say the talent, but she has the skill and enough talent.
And she plays to an audience. She knows her market.
She knows. That's why all her songs are the way they are.
Women empowerment, women against men. This guy broke my heart. Let me tell you about it. Everybody who's in a relationship problem.
And her with her much more mature voice now, going back, singing those older songs, people are gonna want it. And what it's gonna come down to is,
What she should do is make darker versions of those songs. Make darker versions. Make like that deep Adele type of shit.
if you want, man, if she has, but that's where it comes down to. She has the voice, she has the ability, and she has the fan base to her wanting to change that. It'll pull it off. It could work. I'm not saying it will work, but it has more probability of working than, let's say, if someone like, let's say, a DMX went back into the studio to re-record.
But even him, if he does something the right way, priced at the right way, he could come up big. He still has enough hardcore fans out there that are willing to put up a buck or two. Just got to find the right project to do it on.
I don't know.
Like once you have that celebrity status, you can only, like what Dave Chappelle said, you can't be unfamous. You can only become infamous.
Yo, while we're on Chappelle, we spoke about it a couple weeks ago.
Let's give him a hand clap for that phone call he gave to Netflix.
Yeah, let's give Netflix a hand clap for applauding it. I'm slightly upset because I didn't get to finish watching it, but I also have HBO Max, which is on there. He has no say on there, so sorry, buddy. I feel what he said, and I need to watch I'll say Tonight Show, the Saturday Night Live. It said he made a joke about it in slavery, and it's like these niggas done sold me. My grandfather was born in slavery, and probably seen me sold more times. Sold this nigga more times than me. And
but Netflix was respectful.
Netflix.
Because they knew he already has a deal with them.
He generates for you. And that's outside of them. That's CBS Viacom. And they have no say in that. They're just like, yo, you have no say. We have no say. It came up as an opportunity. We took it. It wasn't exclusive. It's not exclusive to us, so we're not losing anything, really. So, yo, we'll abide you. Hopefully, Netflix approach CBS Viacom. Like, yo, like if y'all go anywhere else, the same thing gonna happen, and y'all might get boycotted. So let's figure out a way. Y'all pay him for his hard work all those years. You generate. Honest to God, Dave Chappelle, he probably had to give back some of that $50 million. He's not really discussed it, but he probably didn't get to keep much of that $50 million when he walked. So there's that.
But I don't think he took. I don't think he took anything.
I think he took it. I think he just walked.
I think that's why he left.
Yeah, I think that's why he walked. He turned it down, walked, and he had his money. He made his money on the Netflix specials, but off of that, we know the type of money that they make selling streaming rights. You had it there. Then it was on Hulu. Then it was somewhere else for a while. Then it was gone for a while. And now you brought it back. And we know the type of money. Let's look at what HBO Max paid for Friends. And Netflix was like, yo, we're not paying that shit. What NBC Universal just paid to get The Office back from Netflix. And you have Netflix, what they just paid to get Seinfeld from Hulu. And all these are streaming licensing like rights that all switch hands every so often. If you have streaming services, you'll notice, wow, that movie was just here. It just left there. Why is it here now? And that's how licensing rights work. That's how licensing deals go.
And if you're willing to spend $500 million to get Seinfeld on a network, imagine the kind of money that you're making off of that shit. Just on the average, because I watch Seinfeld every day. And they ask you, especially on Hulu, how do you want your ads? You want them all in one, or you want them sprinkled in?
But that's why I also tell people, I believe that Disney Plus package that comes with that Hulu, that's why you're not allowed to upgrade that Hulu to commercial free. Yeah. Because I believe, all right, let's be honest with you. You're paying, what, $12.99 if you get the whole thing, Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN. ESPN, you're getting live sports. You're getting the whole ESPN Plus category. And if you want, you can buy the pay-per-views and everything if you want. But you also, with the ESPN Plus, you get access to all those articles you couldn't read before and whatnot, which costs a certain thing. Disney Plus by itself, if you only get Disney Plus, is like $6.99, $7.99, something like that. Just Disney without the two added on. ESPN is like $8.99 a month. Hulu by itself is like $5.99 a month. So if you had all those separately, that's almost $20. Bundle this all up, $12.99. Boom, they're giving you a deal. But at the same time, I tell people they have to be selling that advertising space specifically on there, and then not allowing you to upgrade because they're charging these advertisers. And they're like, yo, we can guarantee these people are going to have to watch your ads because they can't upgrade past this. They can't move past here. They are locked into having to watch these ads. So what are you willing to pay me to put your ads on this?
Well, somebody needs to pay Bud and Roach about $500 million, because I'm ready for that check.
Yeah, man. It's crazy, but that's how it goes. But if you like, that's how like the licensing rights on those things go, and that's how it goes and everything. But that's how you see that money moving hands. But when it comes to Chappelle thing, like I said, how much money have you Viacom made CBS over the years moving that around? And yo, he's a flag pin for y'all. Like Amy Schumer, inside Amy Schumer wasn't that funny. Had a couple moments here and there. Key and Peele had a couple moments
Nothing
here
like
and there.
Chappelle Show.
Sarah Silverman, couple moments here and there. But for the most part, your golden egg of comedy, sketch comedy shows is Chappelle.
King Chappelle.
And you need to get that man paid. If not, I don't know. I don't know. But I applaud him. I applaud Netflix. But when I saw it got taken down, I was a little bit miffed because I didn't get to finish watching
Bittersweet.
it. It's bittersweet, but I have HBO Max, so I'll get to watch it there. It's not. I'm not saying it's a great idea, but it's still available there, and I do want to watch it, man. I haven't seen it in years. I loved it as a show, man, and I hope they work the deal out for him. I hope
Me
they
too,
work
'cause I
that
want it
deal out
back.
because he deserves to be paid on that. Because it was it's a golden age of sketch comedy. That's like that. Everyone wants to hit what he was.
Shit. With that being said, it's been another fantastic episode of Good Morning Bushwick here.
Yes, it has. Yeah, 219
219
Central Avenue
Central
here. First
Avenue.
live. We want to thank everyone for tuning in on this amazing Thanksgiving Eve. We want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving
Happy
tomorrow.
Thanksgiving.
We want everyone to celebrate safely. Observe social distancing. If you are going to be in a large area, try to have a mask on hand. Wash your hands. Don't make bad decisions. Don't do anything that can come back, man. We all want to get out of this. And let's adhere by CDC
Absolutely.
guidelines, man. Let's have a safe, happy, and loving Thanksgiving. Let's give thanks for the fact that we are all still here. We've made it through this part of 2020 so far, with everything that's been thrown at us, man. So we do have a reason to give thanks for.
Absolutely.
We want to give thanks here right now to Danny, 30 Rock, Emily, the family, everybody involved, man. We love you guys. We thank you for always
You said
waking up
30
to do
Rock.
it. I said 30 Rock, 30 days. I mean, I said 30 days. You know what I
We was
meant.
talking
First
about
live.
sketch comedy series,
And
so
that's why I said my mind.
30 Rock.
Here at First Live, and everything you guys do, man, and everything you guys do for the community, it's only gonna keep getting better from here. Got anything you want to say? Anything Bud and Roach related, man, you guys can get over at budandroach.com.
And you can follow us at Bud and Roach on Instagram. Stay classy, Bushwick.
Go fly a kite if you need to.